To enterprise leaders, current business operations look like a success. Business users are empowered, building their own tools, and moving data faster than ever. But beneath that clean surface, critical logic is bypassing IT entirely, building up an unmanaged layer of invisible workflows. Over the next 48 hours, we will run a targeted experiment. We will isolate a single department to test if this hidden infrastructure is truly fragile. If these workflows are running without oversight, it suggests the real enterprise bottleneck is no longer about adoption. It is the lack of visibility into the logic running the business. Step 1 requires discipline. You have to resist the urge to audit your entire company at once. If you go too wide, you will get bogged down in discovery. Instead, pick a single high-stakes business function. Finance or human resources are the best starting points because their automated processes carry immediate consequence. Your immediate objective is straightforward. Sit with that department and list every single app, form, and automation built locally by the business users themselves. People will likely be defensive. You need to make it explicitly clear that you are mapping dependencies to protect their workflows, not running an IT crackdown to take their tools away. By keeping the scope narrow, you avoid triggering the organization's immune system. You gather enough specific data to prove a structural gap exists without starting a political fight. Now take that raw list of local apps and filter it. Discard the simple productivity trackers and isolate only the workflows that touch personally identifiable information, payroll data, or money movement. This matrix is your accountability framework. We apply 4 specific questions to every high-risk application you just isolated. First, does the automation have a formal named owner? And second, is there any documented history of a security or logic review? Next, look at the system architecture. Are the upstream and downstream dependencies documented? Finally, is there any actual runtime policy attached to how the app behaves? If a workflow touches money or sensitive data and fails these basic tests, mark that row in red. This final count identifies the department's actual, quantified risk surface. For the next phase, bring in a developer to review the logic inside those red-flagged financial apps using a specific security checklist. First, check for hard-coded credentials. It is common to find plain text API keys embedded directly into a citizen developer's workflow logic. Second, look for data access inconsistencies. Check if these automations are bypassing your central logging systems when they extract and move financial records. Third, evaluate the exception handling. You need to know exactly what happens to a payroll run or an approval chain if a midstream automation silently fails. Finally, check for lifecycle controls. Determine if there is a way to safely disable, audit, or migrate the application when the person who built it eventually leaves the company. These specific vulnerabilities elevate localized citizen development from a simple productivity tool into critical, unmanaged operational infrastructure. It is now day 2. Package those findings into a concise, evidence-based presentation tailored specifically for your CIO. The reflex here is to demand a strict ban on shadow IT. However, suppressing these tools forces the workflows deeper into hidden shadow operations. Instead of prohibition, pitch a targeted registry pilot. Use your risk metrics to justify establishing clear governance. Detail the core mechanics of the pilot, establishing a cross-platform discovery process, mapping every application to a named owner, and applying automated policy templates based on data sensitivity. Present the pilot as the first step toward reclaiming visibility over the company's distributed logic. In 48 hours, you have moved from guessing about organizational sprawl to proving it with hard, quantified evidence. You now hold a documented risk service audit, a developer-vetted security checklist, and a strategic pitch for a registry pilot. Holding this data changes your role. You are now providing the visibility needed to manage how business processes actually evolve. The bottleneck is visible. Download the audit templates below, run the test in one department, and get on your leader.